Let's see if we're going to continue with the blooper reel here or if we're actually going to get this to work. Hey everybody, it's Gordon Majak here, back with another episode of Timeless Pop, Rock, and Soul, take 27 of this particular video. And today we are going back to January of 2008 for this album. Remember this one? The very first Adele record. Seems like Adele's been around forever and that she's an old pro. Yeah, she was only 19 at the very beginning with her first album, appropriately enough, titled 19. That was 2008. Now, this is Adele's first album. We're going to hear a song. To me, it's just not only the best song Adele ever did, but one of the best songs anybody's done here in these last 20, 25 years. And that is a classic called Chasing Pavements. What a record that is. And if you don't believe me, just for the record, how about a number 21 hit in the US, a number 23 hit on the adult contemporary chart, a number 2 hit over in the UK in early 2008 for Adele with Chasing Pavements. Of course, the album, is this the single now, or is this? No, this is for the single. Top 10 hit in 8 different countries. She won the Grammy that year for the best female pop vocal performance. And as you'll hear here in a second, that was well deserved. She was also nominated that year for the Record of the Year and Song of the Year for this song, for Chasing Pavements. But Adele goes on to pick up the Grammy for the best female vocal. This album, 19, goes on to sell a gazillion, otherwise translated as 8+ million copies around the world. Not bad for a first-time effort from Adele back there in 2008. Now, the song comes out, the album comes out there in 2008, but I'm going to guess it wasn't until at least maybe mid to late 2009 that I actually caught up with Adele and heard this song for the first time. I was riding in the car with a good friend of mine who was way into music and kept up on all the new music coming out, and she said, "Hey, have you heard this new artist out of the UK named Adele? She's only 19 years old, and I think you'd really love it. She's really soulful and really got some cool R&B vocal chops, and I think you'd really like it." And she played that first album for me, including Chasing Pavements. And I have to tell you, I was impressed, but I wasn't necessarily knocked out. And it wasn't until a short time after that, so I'm guessing either late 2009 or maybe even early 2010, when I actually saw Adele perform live on the David Letterman show, and saw her do Chasing Pavements there on TV on the Letterman show, and that was all it took, man. That was... there was no doubt. Let's put it this way. That video is up on YouTube, by the way. It's been posted on YouTube, but it's really not a very good quality sound, or I probably would have played that audio just to give you guys a taste of that. But that performance on Letterman there, it was either late 2009 or early 2010 when Adele showed up to do Chasing Pavements. One of the all-time great live performances on television that I've ever seen, any artist in any era. And certainly just indicative of a superstar in the making, if she wasn't already back there, even at that tender age of only 19. Now, Adele, of course, as you know, goes on to conquer the world, and she's basically been the biggest selling artist here of the last, 20-some odd years. So many of her albums and her singles, #1 albums all over the world, #1 singles all over the world. Tens and 20s and 50s of millions of albums and records sold globally for Adele. Speaks for herself. It's just, she's a huge mega star at this point. But nothing takes me away when it comes to Adele. As much as I love some of her more recent stuff and some of the stuff that she went on to do later in her career, certainly the one that still grabs me the most all these years later. How many years later is this? 14 years, almost 15 years ago that Adele made her splash down. This is the song that still kills me every time, and I couldn't wait to play it for you guys. And it's sort of interesting to go back now all these years later and hear this and sort of hear the humble roots of Adele, and then knowing what she went on to become. Man, it's this old stuff that still gets me, though, every single time. Let's hear Chasing Pavements. 19 years old. Imagine that as you're listening to this, that this girl was only 19 when she's making this record. And what a voice and what a talent, as we all know. It is the great Adele. Should I go on? Should I give up? Should I quit? Should I stop? Or should I just keep chasing pavements? I think we all know the answer to that.
I've made up my mind, don't need to think it over. If I'm wrong, I am right. Don't need to look no further, this ain't last. I know this is life. But if I tell the world, I'll never say enough, 'cause it was not said to you, and that's exactly what I need to do. If I end up with you, should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? I wouldn't be awake, even if I knew my best. Should I leave it there? Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere?
Now, I have to jump in here. I usually don't like interrupting the songs any more than I absolutely have to, but I have to tell you, this is the thing. You can hear it right here in the first verse and the first chorus of this song. I meant to say first verse and first chorus. You can just hear the star that is Adele. It's already there all over this record. There are those moments where she just grabs it and rings it out and lets you know. Just such a great feeling, such a great sense of these lyrics, of course, which she wrote about her own life. But God, you can just hear the star in there that's just about to bust out, right, with Adele.
I build myself up and fly around in circles, waiting as my heart drops and my back begins to tingle finally.
Go ahead.
Could
Tell 'em.
this be
Tell 'em.
it? Oh, should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? I wouldn't be awake, even if I knew my best. Should I leave it there? Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? Yeah. Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? Oh, would it be a waste, even if I knew my place? Should I leave it there? Should I give up, or should I just keep on chasing pavements? Should I just keep on chasing pavements? Oh, should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? I wouldn't be awake, even if I knew my best. Should I leave it there? Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere?
Wow. I mean, I'm sorry. She's just got superstar written all over this. She is plastered onto this song like I don't know what. God, just it blows my mind that she was 19 back then. And I have heard this song so many times, and yet there's those moments there, about 4 or 5 of them in this song actually, where different passages of this song just kill me, and I just get those chills every single time for Adele. And Chasing Pavements, and you can just pinpoint the moments in that song where she just ratchets it up all the way. Quite a gifted vocalist, wouldn't you say? And certainly one of my favorite singers, the great Adele. We all know what she went on to do, right? Take over the world of pop music. That's pretty much what that young lady has done these past several years. But for me, it always goes right back there to that first one from 2008. I think, the interesting thing is I was looking at these timelines of when this song came out there in early 2008, but Adele was not like an instant sensation by any stretch of the imagination. It took some time for her record company and her managers and stuff to sort of work with her and promote her and get her seen on some of those shows like David Letterman and some of the other shows that she appeared on, to really expose her chops and expose all of that charisma on stage. Because with Adele, that's what it is. That girl just oozes the vocal charisma and the personal charisma, and you can't take your eyes off her. And that voice certainly puts the whole thing right over the top, doesn't it? Man, 19 years old, to have that kind of talent at 19. And she just comes out and lets it rip. And then she just goes on to sell like 50 million records. Unbelievable. Okay, folks, we are coming down to the end of 2022. Hard to believe, right? I started the channel back there in May. We're coming around to our 1-year anniversary here in a few months in 2023. Lots of exciting changes coming to the channel. Can't tip off too many of them at this early juncture. Wouldn't be prudent. But we'll see. We'll get there. And tomorrow is going to be a very, very big day. I keep looking at my playlist for tomorrow, and man, I cannot wait to get to this. We are going to do a long overdue. It's been about a week, actually, since the loss of one of the real giants in my musical world. And we are going to pay tribute to that gentleman tomorrow. Do not miss that. 3 songs tomorrow coming up to show you guys once and for all the genius, the great Philly soul maestro who just recently passed away here about a week ago during the midst of Christmas and the ice storm and the snow and all of that stuff. We lost the great Tom Bell of Philly soul. And if you want to know someone who I'm sure has a great appreciation for all the work that Tom Bell did back there in the 70s, of course, with Buddy Sigler and Gamble and Huff, Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, the whole Sound of Philadelphia thing. Tom Bell right in the middle of all of that. And I guarantee you, if we were having a conversation with Adele about the great work that Tom Bell did for the Philly soul sound back in the 70s, she would be all over that topic. And we are going to be all over it tomorrow. A little tribute, short and sweet, 3 songs, 3 of the all-time great pop soul singles that you will ever hear. They were huge back there in the 70s. They still sound incredible. And we will tip the cap to the great Mr. Tom Bell, who left us here just about a week and a half ago. That is tomorrow. See you then. I know you're not going to want to miss that. I know you guys dig the Philly soul almost as much as I do. Not quite. I am a major, major Philly soul fan. See you then. Hope you dug some Adele. Should I go on? Should I stop? Should I keep on chasing pavements? You keep chasing those pavements. See ya.